Hello, I'm back with food and even more food, new series to review, and a shout out. Shout out to Dream BL Portugal because they have been reposting a lot of my stuff, so I'm really thankful for that. And I got 1,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. I hope a lot of more people get to see my content because it's a lot of work. Well, anyways, I usually cook food that are from the country of the series that I'm reviewing, but I had to change plans. So we are having today a Japanese dish, but I'm reviewing a Thai BL. And the name is 180 Degrees. So, the actual name is a little bit longer, but I'm not going to say it right now. Let's talk about the food first. I made Yaki Udon, and I just love udon noodles because you can do so much with it. And when I was making it, it kind of reminded me of one of the scenes that we had in the series. It was when Wang and In were alone and Wang made food for In. And he also made just some noodles with whatever was in the fridge. And I feel like this stir-fry udon noodles are the same. Because I also think that you can add whatever's in the fridge, protein of your choice, and just a sauce, and it's fine. It looks really good. You guys can see it. I never know if you guys can see it actually. But let's take the first bite before we get into the series. Because this one, yeah, that's a heavy one. That's so good. I wish you guys could taste it. So today's series, 8 episodes, but I could talk ages about it. Really, I could talk for weeks. Could write a whole essay on it. It was actually really hard to write down all my thoughts on it because I had so many things going on. I feel like each character is so complex that you can talk about them for weeks. You can write an essay about each character. The series is absolutely amazing and not for everyone. Definitely not. So, well, how should we start? I could just read out again the synopsis of it, but I feel like this is not necessary. This time we only have 3 characters, and at first it feels like, whoa, just 3 people? That doesn't seem like there's a lot going on, but they're all connected. And even if I read out what's the synopsis, it wouldn't make much sense to you guys. So if you haven't watched it, let me just say first that if you're someone that rather watch a fluffy, cute BL, that you don't really want to think about things while watching a series, I would say you wouldn't like it. If you're looking for, let's say, romance only, also not for you. But if you actually want a series where we'll have a lot of topics that you'll think about, yeah, then go for it. Definitely go for it. It's 8 episodes. I think each episode is 50 minutes long. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you can watch it on Gaga Olala. The 3 actors are absolutely amazing. Really, they're incredible. They did such an amazing job, and I'm still shocked how good it was. So, let's get into it. We have 3 characters, as I said, right? We have Wang, or Wang. Wang, I think you pronounce it Wang. Wang is, I think, 19, 20 years old. Then we have his mom. Let me check her name, Saziwi Mol. But let's just call her Mol because I'm really confused how to pronounce her whole name. So Mol And then we have In. Mal, Wang's mom, is a really successful director of Lacorns. And as she stated in many, many scenes, not BLs, Lacorns, okay? So it is what it is. And Mal and In were friends in the past. Really close friends because they got to know each other because Mal's husband, Wang's dad, who passed away, was best friends with In. And even though the dad passed away and he's not physically there, he is kind of also the main character here. Wang and Swazimo were on the way to a new filming location, I think, and they got lost. And accidentally, I'm gonna put them in quotes because I don't know if it was really accidental, they end up at In's place. And Mal and In haven't seen each other in ages, and she is all excited about, oh my god, I didn't know that you live here, I didn't know that, and just being excited. And you can clearly see from the moment that Wang sees In, he is intrigued. He is looking at him and it's like something about him. Just In. Yeah, and this is our trio. They will spend I don't know how long they actually spent together at In's house because they wanted to go to a hotel and all In was like, no, you can stay. And Mal and In start talking about past times. That's what they have been doing for the whole half the series, I would say. And they seem happy. So happy, in fact, to see each other again, to be able to talk to each other again. And Wang is intrigued. He wants to talk to In, he wants to get to know him better. And that's when everything starts to unfolding. Because of the friendship between In and Siam. Siam is the dad. And something happened in the past between them that made the whole friendship and the family destroyed. Like, it literally killed the whole vibe of the family and everything. And you just get to know through each episode what actually happened because Wang doesn't really know. Like, he kind of knows, but no one ever talked to him about it. No one ever told him. So he is there to understand what happened and to just get the adults to finally open up. No. Wang is a person who he's young, he's from a newer generation, he's really open-minded, and he does have a really complicated relationship with his mom. And it seems like In seems to be more similar to Wang and gets him a lot. And I don't know why, but it felt like Mal was way older than In, but I think they were the same age, at least a bit. And she does act and talk really conservative. The way that she just is and talks to her son and talks about everything right now is she's kind of conservative. And her motto is definitely forget about the past. Let's not talk about the past. I'll just live now. And yeah, so this is already a lot. Like, the three characters are completely different, even though In and Wang have more similarities. They are still really different. Now, let's get to know the characters. We know that Mal is the mom of Wang. She lost her husband a few years ago. He died in an accident. And she has a really complicated relationship with her dad. Oh, sorry. She has a really complicated relationship with her son. In my opinion, Mal is quite narcissistic. It was, for me, really triggering to watch it since I have someone, well, my mom is kind of similar to her. So for me, it was, damn, no, that's a lot. She would fight with her son And damn, that's a lot of tears, girl. She had a lot of tears in her eyes every time she was fighting with him. She would cry, she would say things like, so you're trying to make him feel guilty? And yeah, we can also, through different scenes, see that she definitely does not support the LGBTQ plus community. What she doesn't know at this point is that her son is gay. And the way that she talks about BLs is really telling. And Wang just listens and it's like, oh, well, whatever. But on many occasions, they just start fighting because she does not understand her son at all. And after we get to know what happened between In and Siam, or not happened, we see that she is definitely the force behind In going away. She definitely wanted to protect her family. I get that. But I'm pretty sure that she forced In to go, saying, if you really love your friend, if you really love his son, you should go now. I don't know why, but she is definitely the type of woman that would do that just because her husband confessed probably to In, no, definitely confessed to In that he loves him. Not in a friendship kind of way. And I get it. She's from a different time. She's from a different time. I don't know what to say because that's it. That she's from a different generation, but you still got time to learn, like she grew up, she got older, she had all the time she needed to slowly start understanding everything, but she did not. And again, it's probably because of the past trauma, because her husband died and the family started falling apart because her husband wanted to be his true self, and this did not work as he thought he would. So I don't know. One thing about her, she definitely only thinks about herself. I don't remember seeing any scene, like even when she was trying to be there for Wang, it was about her. It was about how she was feeling. It was about how she would feel if he left. How she would feel if he is really in love with In. Nothing during the 8 episodes that she ever did was for someone else. It was always for herself. If I missed that and you guys think that, hey, you're totally wrong, please show me that. But I'm pretty sure that every of her actions, like, really was just about her and how she felt. And Wang was always just trying to do damage control. He would apologize if they fought. He would be like, well, someone gotta do it. He wasn't always right, but I get why he did the way that he did. It's really exhausting if your mom is like that. She should have talked to Wang about his dad's death, and a lot of things would have turned out differently, in my opinion. But she definitely didn't want to think about it. She wanted to pretend like everything is okay. And that's why I'm so mad that in the end, she got what she wanted. Because when Wang confessed his feelings to In, she really went up to In and said, can you do me a favor one last time? So that's why I'm pretty sure that she did, in fact, ask him in the past for that again. For that too. Can you let him go? And the way that she also said, yeah, your Wang's love for you is just like how a fan loves his idol, that he's just admiring you and everything. I feel like she said that in the past too to In, because In said many, many times how he adored Siam and that Siam was just a special person for him. So she is so manipulative. It was really hard to see her get away with it. Because I get it, but also I hope Wayne at some point in his life would see that this is not okay. That this is not how a mom should be acting. It's just not. And one thing that definitely broke Wang's heart, but even though he already knew that she wouldn't accept it, is when he came out to her and she had a total meltdown. Maybe she had one because it was in, but also everything that happened after that. How can you do that to your son? Even if the times have changed, it's still hard to come out. And when Wang said, people are always open-minded when it comes to other people, but as soon as it's about their family, they're not that open-minded anymore. I felt it a little bit too hard because it's true. I grew up with that belief. That's what people would tell me. Like my mom once said that. She is more open-minded now. Like she changed a lot, but I remember that she said the same thing to me. She always had gay or lesbian friends, but she would tell me it's okay for them to be like that, but you can't. So it's hard. And when you come out to a person and then they have this total meltdown, I can not even imagine how hurt he was. This must have hurt so much to see your mom, even after you're feeling like she knows, still acting like that. Like, yes, you can come from a different generation, but this is your son. Why are you behaving like that? She is still. I think that up to a certain point, you can excuse some behaviors with trauma, whatever happened in the past, and age difference, but not everything. This is annoying. But there are enough people with the same age that act differently. Now, she was really the most triggering for me, at least. And now to our dear In. Oi, how do I side with this one? That man will forever be in this closet. He will forever be exactly there where he is now, in the forest, looking at the bridge that he called Wayne, and still not crossing it. I feel so bad for him. Like, I feel really sorry for him. He was definitely in love with his best friend, but he could never, up until the last minute, accept his love. Accept that he fell in love with a man. That he was in love with the man that he kind of gave to Moll. With the man that already had a family and he was just too scared to accept the feelings. Kind of broke my heart to see him suffering so much. On many occasions, he was attacked by Wang and by by Moll, and both of them saying that it's your fault that Dad died. It just was really heartbreaking. I think that a part that broke my heart also a lot was when Moll told him, I wish we haven't met each other again, because from the start she seemed so excited to be there. She seemed so excited to see her old friend again, and then he was being like just opening up his house and everything, and she says that. This kind of broke me, because I think that he really thought maybe she forgave me, but she didn't. She really didn't, and she was mad, and she said some really hurtful things. And then for her to get on her knees and talk to him, probably in the same way that she talked to him in the past, asking for him to let her loved one go. I'm pretty sure that In was having a deja vu after deja vu. It was, at some point, I was just laughing. Like, it's, at least for me, it felt like he was looking at the whole situation like, really? Again? All this again? And the way that he was so scared of his own feelings that he would rather live alone instead of just being honest with himself. This hurts. Oh God. I don't know. I feel like he is so traumatized by what happened and he feels so much guilt. I'm pretty sure that he blames himself for the death of Siam and he cannot cope with it. And he maybe if this whole situation didn't turn out the way that it did, he would have been able to finally get some closure. But it just all happened again. And I cannot even imagine how much pain he was in. But also, how can you not act? Well, I get why he can't act on his feelings, but how hard is it to look at someone you love and say, can you go? Please go. And now he's alone, and you cannot tell me otherwise. That man died in that forest. He's not coming back, and no way that he will ever be having any guests over again. No way. But hey, he has a bridge called Wang. I'm so sorry. It's just pissed me off that he suffered so much and then he cannot be happy. It's sad. And I feel like since the beginning, the way that we got introduced to In, we should have known how it would end. He will never open up. Not for money, not for nothing. That man said, I killed someone. He really didn't. And I'm out. I'm out of the world. He's there in this big ass house alone. It's a really big ass house. So, I don't know what to tell you guys. He is a lonely, handsome boy. Like, he's really attractive. And now we have Wang. Okay, so I really wanted to make onigiris, but if you never did that, it's really easy. I'm making spicy tuna onigiris because I like this snack. And yeah, let's do it while I talk about Wang. So, we have Mol, who is just a narcissistic bee person. I don't know if I should say the word. Anyways, so we have her, who is definitely from a different generation, blah, blah, blah. We got that. Then we have In, still traumatized. Dude got his heart broken once and said, nope, I'm not doing that ever again, which is fine. He was in a different generation and everything. It was really hard to come out. It was probably forever hard for him to come out after someone died that told his feelings towards him. So I get it. It's hard. And he probably will never love again properly. At least never show it. But now we have our Wang that I'm pretty sure is a symbol for the younger generation, the future and present, what's going on. And, well, I think that his first intention was just to understand what actually happened with his dad and with his family, because this family broke apart. And even though he does understand, and even though he has a good relationship with his mom and everything, it's still not the best one. I've already said that Moe is definitely narcissistic. You cannot change my mind. Like, she is. So, it's hard. He really wants to understand what's going on, and his mom does not want to talk about the past at all. Not even want it. She doesn't even want to see anything that's going on. Wang has to deal with his dad's death, and he definitely loved his dad very much. They got along really well. And now he has to deal with his mom, who doesn't talk about anything with him, treats him like a little boy, and doesn't want to let him go and just be himself. I'm pretty sure that he feels like he can be himself and show his true personality, especially because he couldn't come out until lately, I might say. So it's hard. I cannot even imagine how it is. And then when he meets in, he feels like, oh, this is finally a grown-up who understands me. So this is his dad's best friend. Sorry, I really love canned tuna. I'm pretty sure that he just met in and felt like, yes, finally someone who understands me. That's why he was dad's best friend. I love dad. I got along with dad, and now his best friend from I think high school. And yes, of course they get along. And then I think that after a while he started to get to know In. I'm pretty sure he was falling in love. Was it love? I don't know. But he was definitely feeling something for In. And Wang sometimes did have some anger issues. I get it. It's frustrating to deal with a mom like that and then having to talk to In, and he just doesn't open up and you can feel it. And Wang just wanted to understand what's going on. Why did that happen with my family? Why did that happen with everyone that's here? But no one wanted to talk about it. Well, I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, why is he apologizing? Why is he doing that? Why did he still go with his mom? It's just that that's how you get peace. He knows damn well that even if he wanted to stay, even if In accepted his love, he wouldn't be able to stay there peacefully. His mom would be way too exhausting, and she just always makes so much drama about it. Sometimes it's easier to just apologize, accept, and move on. It is what it is. You can't. A narcissistic person will not change at all. This will never happen. Sometimes I felt like Wang was just so frustrated, and that's why he definitely was always screaming and trying to fight whatever was going on. So I don't feel like him apologizing to his mom was that bad. It was just realistic. You don't fight with this kind of people. You just accept it and they say, okay, until the next fight. He definitely went through a lot. I mean, he was sent to boarding school, had his first love, and he just cannot talk about this with anyone, I feel like. Not his mom, he had no one to really talk about it. He's a really idealistic person, and maybe this was also standing in his way because he had a hard time understanding that not everyone will be like him. Not everyone will have the courage to be true to themselves. Not everyone will be able to, just show how they feel and be happy. Not everyone can do that. Until today, it's still not possible. So he had a really hard time, I think, understanding In until the end. But he's still, I think that the time he started talking more with In, that, like, when the topic wasn't his dad, he definitely understood more about the world. Like, In definitely made him understand that it's not the same for everyone. He definitely learned a lot in this trip, heartbreak included. They talked about his dad, and Wang told him, like, I know what happened. I know, but can you tell it to me? Like, can you say it? And In wasn't ready. He couldn't. Really, until the end, he could not say the words that he loved Siam. He couldn't. And I think there was one episode where they talked intensively about the dad, and In cried, and you could see the love in this man's eye, and he would still always avoid saying that it was love, avoid saying something that would make him look that he was really in love in a I want to be a boyfriend kind of way. I don't know how to say it. And then Wang was looking at him like, why don't you say it? Wang was really having a hard time understanding why he just couldn't say it. Because for Wang, the world is like, you have to speak up, you have to do this. And In was like, not everyone can speak up. Not everyone grew up learning how to speak up. I'm glad that you can, but not everyone can. And so much was going on. I know that a lot of people said that maybe Wang's love wasn't true, that he just kind of projected what he was feeling towards his dad and everything, like the love and admiration for him, and the way he was making into In. I mean, yeah, Wang has daddy issues, for sure. I don't think that all of that was just him being obsessed, kind of, with his dad's friend from high school and university. Nah, I think that he definitely at some point started actually liking In. He's not a dumb boy, just a young, stupid boy sometimes. But yeah, so in my opinion, he was definitely falling in love with In. Don't know if he was really in love. But anyways, look, you just have to put rice here, and then you put some whatever. I think you can do that with salmon too, and whatever you want. So it's spicy tuna mix here, and then you put some more rice. And I have these cute little thingies here. Alright, let me take it out. I'm gonna finish one. I really wish that Wang, not that he got to stay with In, but that he got to go away from his mom. He said, I think that in the end he said that he doesn't feel like if he stayed, that he or In would lose or anything. That even if he won, I think that's it. Even if he won and he could have stayed with In, he knows that the person who would really lose would not have anything to do with him or In, but moreover with his mom. And this just shows that he really loves her, and she's really good at manipulating him. Sorry. I mean, this was his first love. Was it? No, second love. And when he came to his mom saying, why does it hurt? It reminded me of my heartbreaks. I think the worst part in the end that actually started making me cry was when, was it? Yeah, Wang told In, can you hug me? One time with all your true feelings. So you don't have to say it, but can you please hug me? Ta-da! Onigiris. I love it. I struggle a lot with Wang's character. I mean, none of the characters are either bad or good. None of them. They're just humans, like us. None of us are just bad or good. Oh well, some are really bad. Well, the typical human usually isn't just bad or just good. But for me, Wang was a little bit too relatable. I feel like I understand him. Up to a certain point, and then there were things that he was doing that I was like, why do you gotta do that? That's a bit dramatic. But he really, it was like a little kid just asking what's going on and hoping that someone will explain to them what's actually going on. I feel like up until the end, the only person that learned something was Wang. Because his mom got her way again, in a way. In still couldn't be true to himself. Wang is the only one that learned the hard way that he cannot change people. He wanted it so bad. He wanted to, especially after he started realizing his feelings for In, he wanted so much for In to finally open up and be himself. But yeah, he couldn't. And he had to learn this the hard way. And then getting his heart broken. That, I don't know. I cried with this one. I think I got also really mad with the mom in the end. They were in the car. And she wouldn't shut up. Like, she saw her son was sad and she couldn't shut up. And another reason why I feel like Wang's the only one that got something from this short trip was because he always had this globe that his dad gave him. I think, yeah, like this glass globe. And in the end, he gave it to In. I don't remember what he said. Just remember feeling like this was a symbol of him saying, I had my closure, but I think it's time for you to get yours. So he gave this thing that means the world to him to Wang. To In, sorry. And it's just tough. We also see Wang putting all the pictures that he found from his dad in an envelope, and it's just really the sign of him moving on and just accepting the fact that In will never be able to show his love the way that Wang can and does. And he even says that he loves him even though he knows he'll never be able to give it back. Kind of heartbreaking. Imagine loving someone knowing that this person will never get out of their tiny cage that they made themselves. They made it for themselves. Because this is what In did. He ran away, never confronted it, and just left. I still think that Maul wasn't quite innocent in here, but he still ran away, so... Okay, so in the end, during the credits, they had a quote that I would like to read out loud. To you who call yourself a parent, you can only give birth to them, but you don't own them. To you who are still young, you have to bleed first, before you learn. To you who call themselves wise, don't let your courages get the better of you. And I mean, it definitely fits all characters. We have the mom who thinks that just because this is her son, she can do whatever she wants and that she is always right. And then we have Wang, who needs to understand that he has to bleed first to learn, like he really did now, if he wanted it or not, the other thing. And to In, who definitely is a coward. Sorry. He has his reason, but he's still a coward. And even though he was always giving advice to Wang, all of his advices were, don't risk it, don't do that. And yeah, I think it was quite telling about his character. A little bit shame that really he didn't got to leave his cage. Flower. Well, regardless of everything, I know I was always being a little chaotic again and just I hope you guys still understood what I was trying to explain and say. The series is just so complex, and I feel like it's really hard to talk about it, but it's definitely worth the watch if you want something that's not just your typical fluffy, cutesy BL. I would say it's a 10 out of 10. Everything about it. I really loved it, even though it was a sad ending. Even though in the end, In stayed at his place and Wang got to live with his mom, it's a good ending. Because it makes sense in a way that I don't like, but I have to accept it. And just because I understand the mom's action doesn't mean that I support it. I actually don't know how to feel about her because she reminds me of my mom, and that was quite triggering. I love my mom, just saying that, but it's exhausting sometimes. And Wang reminded me sometimes, and when Wang was interacting with his mom, it reminded me a lot how I talked to my mom, how we would always fight about certain things. I mean, she never had my mom never had a boyfriend that was a boyfriend. My mom never had a friend that looked that hot, because I would definitely still try my thing, like, go Wang. But yeah, it's just a really complex series. A lot of layers, a lot of things that you can see in it, a lot of things that were happening and not happening at the same time. It's not about romance. It's a life lesson that I actually didn't think that I would like to know, but sometimes you need this kind of thing. So I don't know, I feel like this video was not the typical way of how I want to review things, just because I still have a lot of thoughts on this series. I think that we can talk about each character, but then you need to include each other character. It's just a lot. There were a lot of things going on in this series, and I think I wrote 2 pages just to know what I want to say, at least wrote it down to think about it, and I don't know what to make of it, because no one is wrong here, in a way. They all have their flaws and everything, and it was a lot. I never thought that a series with 8 episodes would make me keep thinking about it, and so many quotes that I got from the series are absolutely amazing, and we could analyze it the whole night, the whole day. I could probably talk hours about it, and this one is also probably going to be one of my longest reviews forever. And probably not, because there's still the miracle of teddy bear. But yeah, I don't know. So in the end, let's say I love 180 Degrees. It's an absolute masterpiece of a series. You have each episode telling a story, and in the end, you knew what would happen. It's fine. I loved it. I loved everything that I actually learned from it. Even though it was a tiny bit triggering, I still could watch it, and I would sometimes even smile about the way that people were talking about it on Twitter. I'd be like, well, try living with it, and then we can talk. So it's a 10 out of 10. I absolutely recommend. And I won't be rewatching it, especially because the mom's behavior is a little bit too triggering for me. And because I like a happy ending. I love my happy endings. Life sucks. I need my happy ending, okay? I will not be rewatching it. And not because it's bad, as I said, it's an amazing, amazing series. But I like my happy place. My series are supposed to make me happy and smile. Something that The Miracle on Teddy Bear and 180 Degrees have in common is that I love them, recommend them, please go watch it. But I will not be rewatching it. I enjoy happiness a little bit too much for that. And you get 8 episodes. They will make you feel a lot of things. But it hurts now, but it will heal. I will have to finish now my onigiris. That's a lot, so much. But let's say goodbye for now, and I hope that the next time I get to review a series that it's a little bit more fun and less complex as this one. Bye!